Happy Memorial Day. In keeping with my tradition of dropping a bonus episode on holidays, this one is extra special because I'm joined by my son, Josh Bushman. We dive into family memories, our love of Disney and Taco Bell, and his journey as a rising YouTuber with his channel, Try Nintendo. From gaming and graphic design to consistency and creativity, Josh opens up about the challenges and joys of content creation and what adventure means to him. Welcome to this father-son conversation with Josh Bushman. Welcome to Journey with Jake. This is a podcast about adventure and how through our adventures we can overcome the challenges of life that come our way. While I expect you will learn some things about different adventures, this show will entertain you. Each episode will feature a different guest or guests as they share experiences and stories from the different adventures they have been on. Not only will you be entertained, but you will also hear the failures and trials each guest faces and what they have done or are doing to overcome the hardships that come their way. My goal is to take each of us on a journey through the experiences of my guests with the hope that you'll be entertained and inspired to overcome your day-to-day challenges. After all, it's not all about the destination as it is about the journey. Special bonus episode of Journey with Jake. It was a real treat to have my son Josh on the show, not just to talk about his journey in the YouTube world, but also to reflect on our relationship and what it meant to grow together over the years. I'm incredibly proud of Josh, and that goes for my other 3 kids as well. I'm truly blessed to be their dad. We'll be back with our regular weekly episode this Thursday, so be sure to tune in. But for now, enjoy this father-son conversation with my son, Josh. I've got someone who I absolutely love on the show with me today. This is a bonus episode. I got my son, Josh Bushman, here. Josh, welcome to Journey with Jake.
Thanks. It's good to be on the show, Father. It's heard about
Thank
it
you,
for
son.
so long. I've watched some episodes, listened to some episodes here and there.
Yeah, no, for sure. So typically I like to have my guests kind of give a little introduction of who they are. I don't think I need to do that necessarily with you. So I thought what I would do is I would kind of give my introduction of you,
Okay.
and then you can kind of fill in whatever else you want.
Yeah,
So,
or, correct mistakes.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can correct my mistakes I make of you, vice versa, whatever. But first of all, Josh is my oldest. Josh was the one who made me a father. Well, Josh is 25 now, 25 years old.
Yep.
He's out doing his own thing. He's married to Elizabeth. You have a beautiful baby daughter, Brielle, my granddaughter, which is awesome. I love her. It's exciting. A couple of things, interesting things about Josh. Josh was premature. I always have to say that. You're premature. Josh was born at 29 weeks. He's only 3 pounds. So whenever, I'm embarrassed something he does, I just say it's because he was premature. Still use that to this day.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Josh?
Yeah.
Couple things about Josh, super friendly. He's always been friendly. I know friends are important to him. He's always been a really friendly kid. He's an athlete. He played baseball. He plays pickleball a lot now. So he's always pretty talented. He was coordinated, that sort of thing. And super creative. Josh has been our creative child, our artiste, so to speak. He likes to draw and just be creative. All of the Journey with Jake stuff that you see, the website, my logos, all that, Josh helped me create those. So Josh is pretty much the one who did it all. So I'm excited to have Josh as a bonus episode. Plus, it's my son, and it's fun to talk to him. You get to know me a little bit through this conversation. We'll get to know Josh as well. Did I get everything okay?
Yeah, no, that was perfect. You got it.
Sweet. So the first thing I kind of want to talk about is, for you, growing up Bushman. What it was like to be a Bushman growing up. What stands out. So for you, when you think about growing up in our household, in our family, what kind of jumps out to you? What comes to mind?
So it's interesting. I feel like as a teenager, I kind of strayed away from some of those Bushman roots. But as I've been married and gotten older, I kind of go back to some of those things, some of those traditions. A big one, I think, for us is reality TV. We love our Survivor, our Big Brother, our Amazing Race. We just love all those shows. I remember Wednesday nights was always Survivor night, where we'd watch it and get Taco Bell every week. And that leads into another Bushman tradition is Taco Bell. I think it's in our blood. our my great grandfather, your grandfather, that was his favorite place. And when he passed away at his funeral, trays of tacos, trays of burritos from Taco Bell. So I always love sharing that because it's just a place I still go to at least once a week. That hasn't changed. Um,
Oh, yeah. It's funny you say that about Taco Bell because when you think about it, Taco Bell, I mean,
yeah,
it's Taco Bell.
yeah,
But we love it, and there's sentimental value to it, especially yeah,
right.
at Grandpa's funeral. When we had the little get together, family night together, and what do we have? We have tacos and burritos, and he would go to Taco Bell. I don't know if you knew this near the end of his life. He'd go to Taco Bell like every day.
Yeah, yeah. And I heard
Maybe
that
that
was like
killed
the
him.
last place he fell. So,
Yeah,
but I mean, no better place for him to have fallen. It seemed to be his favorite place. So,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, very good. So okay, that's a good one. That's one I didn't really even think of. But the reality TV, Taco Bell.
yep, yep.
Anything else jump out to you growing up,
Yeah, I
Bushman?
mean, sports is another one. We did baseball, little league. Me and my two brothers, and so I just remember always being at the baseball park. It's funny because I remember a lot of my friends as I was getting older. They hated baseball not because of the sport, but because I would be gone and couldn't hang out with them because I'd be at baseball. So that was kind of our weekend thing for springs and falls and stuff. But that's another one where as I kind of got older, I didn't really care for it as much. I mean, it was hard to be invested if I didn't play something. I'm still kind of like that where I don't like to watch sports as much. I like to play them. That's kind of like my exercise, my how I get my exercise and stuff. But um, now I'm like fully back on the D-backs train for the last couple of years. T-Mobile Tuesday came in clutch and gave us a free season, so I was like, nothing to do in the evenings. Let's start watching some D-backs games again. And so um, baseball's a big one for me again, and I think a big one for our family, but just kind of sports in general.
Yeah, we've always been sport type people. We've always enjoyed sports. I think something interesting, you look at the show that I'm doing, Journey with Jake, which I've been doing for 3.5 years now, and it's about adventure and, you know, people jumping off cliffs and people doing crazy things. What kind of adventures did we do, or did we do adventures?
Zero adventures. No, I'm just kidding. We did a lot of stuff. Um, I think, I mean, Bushman's like Disney is the first thing that I think of when I think of our family. Um, Apparently, it's not normal for, families to go once a year, once every other year, like that's what it was for us, at least from when I was like 5 to 10 or 11 or something like that. Um, and I just have really fond memories of that. That's something that even for those years that we didn't go, I was always thinking about it. And I still today I'll play like Main Street Plaza music when I'm cleaning or something like that. It's just always been with me. It makes me think of not just our immediate family, but our extended family of your mom and dad. And um, so it's just I don't know. It's just kind of in our blood too. I think is Disney.
Yeah, and I think Disney is kind of what really kicked off the idea behind this podcast. Because my thought was, when I first started Journey with Jake, my thought was, okay, it's going to be a travel type podcast, but it's going to be about people's specific memories of certain places and why those places had importance. And the show kind of started off like that. In fact, I had the Castaños, the Castaños, they were on, they talked about Disney and what it's like for them and the rope drops and just, memories, things like that for them. And that's kind of what I wanted. I wanted to dive into that whole nostalgia thing. But then as I got into the show and I realized, oh man, this is so much more than that. It's, people's experiences and not necessarily places and things like that. But really Disney and my experiences of going to Disney is kind of probably what started it. Fun fact, I haven't been to Disneyland, California since 2020. So it's been over 5 years, which is a long time for me. And I'm okay with that, which is so weird to say now because I know it
That
bothers you
hurts
whenever
me. Yeah,
I
no, it
know
really bothers me.
whenever I say that, I'm like, I'm okay not going, but no, was good for our family because of that, for sure. It definitely did that. I have, yeah, lots of memories. I still remember when we took all of you guys to Florida too. We went to Disney World.
Yeah,
I think you were 14 or so at the time.
yeah, I think it was 14, 13,
14, all
14.
the way down to 4 years old. Haley was 4 or 5 at the
Mm-hmm.
time. And yeah, that was a lot of fun. I mean, it's just fun spending time together as a family and, those kind of things for sure.
Yeah,
Any
that's
other
around the
things?
first.
Yeah,
Oh,
go
I was
ahead.
just gonna say about that Florida trip. That's around the first time I got a phone too. So I have a lot of like really low quality images of that trip of just anything and everything. When you first get a phone or a camera, you just kind of take pictures of literally everything. That one's pretty well documented for me, and I like looking at those from time to time.
Yeah, when was that? Was that
I think it
2014?
was 14, yeah.
Yeah, so, 11 years ago.
That and you guys surprised us too. That was like we had no idea. I think Brandon figured it out. He's the brother 2 years younger than me. He'd kind of sneak into he'd listen under your guys' door and hear your conversations with grandma and grandpa. And I don't think he told any of us though. I think you swore him to secrecy. But
Oh,
for me
okay.
and my other siblings, it was a surprise, and it was fun seeing them at the airport and stuff. But
Good old Brandon. That's our accountant kid, your accountant brother for sure. No, that's good stuff. All right. Any other fun things that you remember doing as a kid?
I mean, I remember, I know you have really close ties to Colorado, and I remember that Colorado trip we took, and I was older, like, you say a kid, but I mean, I was 16. I think I was 16.
Yeah, 16 or 17. Were you a senior? Gonna be a senior?
Maybe. It was when I
Yeah.
was an older teenager for sure,
Yeah.
but that was really fun because I'd never been, that was my first time. Even like the drive, I remember just being really beautiful. Like I remember having like a river going alongside us while we're traveling through mountains and stuff. We got to see Diamondbacks and Rockies play. That was really fun. I don't know. It's just kind of cool to explore new things as a family. Because I mean, we kind of stayed to the West for the most part, kind of Arizona, Nevada, California, and Utah was kind of our main thing. So it was kind of fun when we got to branch out a little bit.
Yeah, that was a great trip. I'm glad you mentioned that because Colorado for me, yeah, growing up was huge. And I didn't really get to experience that with you guys until you guys were a little bit older. But I remember, yeah, driving into Colorado, just for me, a lot of memories came back, a lot of nostalgia came back. But I remember do you remember going to Mount Evans? We went up on
I
Mount
think
Evans.
so. There was a. Is that where the goat was? There were goats up
Yes,
there.
yes.
Yeah, yeah. I do remember that.
That was a lot of fun because I remember, first of all, it's the
It's kind of
highest.
scary too,
It
driving
was
up there. I remember
first,
it's
yeah,
really narrow roads.
the road was scary. It's the highest paved road in North America at 14,000 something feet. I struggle to breathe up at that elevation anyway, but it was fun being up there with you and the rest of our whole family was up there getting pictures of these mountain goats that were there, and it was just it was a good time. I just yeah I had such a blast with you guys in Colorado, and it was kind of our it was kind of our last trip all together, I think, because then you left and went on a church mission. And
We did Disneyland 2018
we
January.
did do Disneyland
Hmm.
2018. Okay, that's right. I do remember that. I remember
Yeah.
going there. 'Cause Grandma and Grandpa came to that as well. So
And
yeah,
cousin Chandler.
and cousin Chandler. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So we did Disney quite a bit. I think that was probably your biggest thing that we did.
Yeah.
Something else about you, Josh, that was quite interesting about you, and I always thought maybe that you would grow out of this, but you never did. Is you loved video games? Okay, tell me how when did you first get hooked on gaming?
Uh, you always love this quote. You still reference it. It's me as a 5, 6 year old or something, and I just say because it's so interesting.
I'm just so interested in
I'm
games.
just so
Yes,
interested in games. That's what it
yes,
was.
yeah.
It's hard to pinpoint when it started. I mean, because I don't think we owned our own systems for a while, but it was always like going to friends' houses. Like if you remember the Watsons, they had like a GameCube, and when I was 5, 6 years old, I'd go over there play it. I remember there was a kid in first grade who was playing Pokemon, and Pokemon was, I mean, it's still a huge thing, but late 90s, early 2000s, Pokemon was just booming on Game Boy and DS, and so that Pokemon cards too. I mean, it was just a kid's play thing. Like it was so big. And there was a kid in first grade that let me like borrow his DS. Just yeah, you want to play this game? Here you go. Like he's 6 years old, doesn't know any better. Lets me take it home. And so I remember playing on this kid's DS up in like my bunk bed and just spamming the A button using the same move over and over and watching the enemy Pokemon die. I don't know, it was just really fun. And I remember mom coming in and being like, "What? Where did you get that?" It's just, yeah, some kid let me borrow it. I don't really know him, but gave it back to him the next day. But I don't know, just a lot of different things. I know, grandma, your mom, she had a Super Nintendo, and so whenever we'd go over there, there was a Super Nintendo that I'd play. Um, just I don't know, a lot of different consoles from different places, and every time very fun for me, very exciting.
That's so funny because so I, like you said, your grandmother, my mom, we had the Super Nintendo. I played the NBA game a lot. I like to play the
Mm.
NBA. I was huge into the NBA when I was a teenager. So I'd play that, but that was about the extent of it. I didn't get into games like you do. I mean, you got into them. And it's interesting because yeah, your mom, myself, we weren't big games. So we didn't really
No.
care to get you games or do that sort
Uh-uh.
of thing. So it's amazing to me that you got into them secondhand.
Yeah, and I mean, you have siblings that are pretty into it. I mean, your brother David, your brother Will are pretty into games. Your brother David's probably the one that got me into Zelda, which is my favorite series. It's this shirt that I'm wearing right now. I wore it for today. But he let me borrow a copy of Twilight Princess, which is my favorite game. And I mean, Will, I'm always like, that's what we connect on. I talk to him about video games or Disney, but so I mean, it's always been around like family, but not yeah, not you and mom specifically. Mom hates them actually, so that's always been a probably the only point of contention between us is her disdain for them and my fascination with them.
And it takes us to today. And you started a YouTube channel. What's the name of it? Kind of tell us what this YouTube channel is because I know it has a lot to do with your love of gaming. So tell us about it.
Yeah, so the handle on YouTube's at Try Nintendo, but I just go by Try, based off the Triforce from The Legend of Zelda. So
And
it's
that's
a
TRI.
TR little triangle character. Actually, my wife got me this for my birthday. It's what he looks like. If you're for you video watchers, just my guy waving his hand. It's kind of cool. I got a lot of skills that I picked up from just high school and college, doing graphic design, some video editing here and there, and I was kind of able to use this vast hours of time sunk into YouTube and kind of turn it into creating. I felt like I don't know if it was like this for you with podcasting, but I would start watching so much YouTube that I'd be like, I can't be a consumer anymore. Like I need to. I don't know. I felt like I could do something. I could actually like be a part of this instead of just like absorbing it. I don't know. And so that was one of the reasons why I wanted to start my channel. And I mean, I talk about video games that I'm interested in, usually Nintendo type stuff, and also design. I did UX design in college, got my degree in that, and so sometimes I'll do case studies on game console UI design or video games, and those also happen to be kind of the most popular videos on my channel. So
It's amazing. It's funny that you talk about the whole, YouTube thing and being a consumer of it. And I think that's the way I was. When the pandemic hit, I was definitely a consumer of podcasts. That's where I first started listening to podcasts. And I think you're right. I think after a while I was kind of like, do I can do this, or like, why,
yeah,
I'm just consuming it all. Why don't I do this? Why don't I step into this game? And I still consume a lot just because I have a lot of friends who are podcasters and things like that. I consume it from that point. I still listen to things to help me with things, but I've kind of switched it to not just full on consuming, but I've given out. You're doing the same thing. Why do you think it was just this niche for you? Was it because that's what you grew up loving? I mean, you obviously you used the design background that you got in college,
hmm
but why the video game thing?
yeah. I mean, I already loved it. I feel like that's a hard thing for a lot of people when they create a YouTube channel. Is what am I going to make videos about? Some of the biggest channels, Ryan Trahan, Mr. Beast, they're kind of variety content creators where it's very uh, hyper speed, hyper edited, attention grabbing challenges, and they're I mean, one video to the next, it's completely different. It could be Squid Game one video, it could be I survived on an island. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's what a lot of people think of when they think YouTuber. And for me, I've always consumed Nintendo based YouTubers, so people that talk about the games I already enjoy, and because Nintendo is constantly putting out games, 4, 5, 6 games a year, there's always something to talk about, and the community is always growing. People are always sharing their ideas on the different games that come out, or there are times playing the games, or even just playthroughs of the games, and so there's just kind of a never ending source of content, and something that I've been consuming literally for over 10 years on YouTube itself, which is just kind of crazy. But I was like, it's time for me to join the conversation instead of lurking and watching.
All right. And how long have you had this channel now?
January.
January.
So
Okay, so just this
yeah,
year. You
so
started
just
this year. Try
five
Nintendo.
months. Hmm.
5 months. I listen to it, and of course I'm proud, and because I know you're my son, and I love hearing you, and I love seeing what you're doing. I feel like you're talented. I think other people need to jump in there, check out Try Nintendo to see if they like it, but I think it's great because you sound good, you're well spoken, you have good videos, it's fun, it's funny, so I love it. I love seeing it. For you, what's been the biggest challenge to having a YouTube channel?
I think it's just consistency. I feel like I haven't felt really any burnout yet. Like I still love putting videos out, um, but they take a lot of time. I mean, my videos are only 5 to 10 minutes, and I have to come up with the idea for the video. I script it, I do the voiceover, I edit the sound, and then I edit the actual video, and it takes like 10 plus hours, I think, for each video, depending on how long it is. And so it's kind of hard to do that week to week. And with just family stuff, like I'm a father now, and I don't want to just leave my wife hanging and say here's the baby for 10 hours while I shut myself in. But it's also hard because that's kind of how I work. I'm not very good at like going in an hour a day doing something. I'm very much a in spurts person, and so I just like to grind something out for a lot of hours. So that's been kind of a challenge scheduling, I guess.
You get that from your mom.
Oh,
Your mom does that. If she decides she's going to clean something, next thing you know, she's
yep,
going for hours on end and just
yep.
like, yeah, that's funny.
I could see that.
Yeah. So that's definitely, you get that from your mother. What are some of the wins? Like, what are some of the benefits that you've noticed?
I mean, I think one of the best comments I get is just people saying you're underrated. Like to hear that is just really cool. For a lot of people to say, "Oh, you only have X amount of subscribers. I thought you had way more." Like it's just such a cool thing to hear that I'm already producing content at a high level. Um, and I don't want to say that like I'm tooting my own horn, but I mean, I do put a lot of work into it. It's something that I think because I've been watching it for so long, I kind of know what good content looks like. That's helped me to be able to produce something that I would want to watch. That's a big thing. A lot of the times when people can't get their feet off of YouTube, it's because they're making content that even they wouldn't want to watch. So I try to always make sure it's entertaining enough for me and maybe teaches you something too.
Oh, for sure. Learn a lesson or two. What do you think your big, like, what's the goal with it? Like, what do you want to, if your dreams or goals, not just necessarily the goal, but what's
Right.
your dream of this?
I mean, obviously, I'd like to go full time at some point with it. It's been able to make some money for me so far. I've been able to get some freelance jobs from it doing design. So it's something that it's like a lot of people talk about how difficult it is to get to like 1,000 subscribers, or it takes years and years. And I feel like at the rate that I've been going at, it's like within reach. I don't know how long it'll be to get to that point, but I know that I need to stay consistent to get to that point. And I feel like I've already established a pretty decently strong base of like loyal subscribers, people that are like interested in what I have to say about different gaming topics. I don't know, it's just kind of cool to like have that, to know that there are people that will always be there hour one to watch something and to interact with me. It's just cool.
Love it. What's something surprising you've learned while building up this audience?
Maybe just how nice people are. I mean, you'll still get those stray 1% people that are just kind of negative. Um, but I was genuinely surprised that people would even like comment on my stuff. Like I expected friends and family to comment. You know what I mean? Like people that I directly sent my stuff to and said, "Hey, please watch this. I worked hard on it." But when it's like just a completely random stranger that comes in and says, "Hey, like I really like how you did this. Like I agree with your takes, or I thought this was really funny." Um, that was pretty surprising to me. I don't know. And I guess just the sheer amount of people that I've had so far, I feel like I've been pretty lucky with the success I've had in the short amount of time that I've been on the platform, at least from a creating standpoint. So that's kind of been a surprise for me. I didn't expect to be where I'm at in the amount of time it's been.
Well, I'm super impressed because I've been doing this podcast for 3.5 years. You talk about the burnout aspect of it. That's the great thing that I love about what I'm doing. I love it so much that I don't get burned out. I enjoy the editing a lot more now, especially, because I've gotten faster. You get faster, you get
Yeah.
better as you move along. But I love when I listen back now, and go through that is because it just hits me like, oh, I didn't realize that when I was recording it or whatever, So I like that part of it, and I keep little adjustments here and there. I keep making as I move forward. I'm sure you'll do the same. How many videos do you have out right now?
22, something
22.
like that.
Okay, so
Yeah.
20 some odd videos. You got several thousand subscribers, right? I mean, you're pushing
Yeah.
10.
8,800,
Yeah, so you're
somewhere
pushing
around
10.
there.
Maybe by the time this comes out, you'll be close to 10. I don't know. We'll see. So yeah, I mean, you're I'm impressed. I remember your first video I watched was like, dude, my son is good. Like, and again, you're my son. Am I just,
Right.
maybe but there might be
A little
some
bit of
bias
that.
there.
There's
A little
probably
bit of that, but you're really
something of
you are
that.
really
Yeah.
good. And I think, like you said, you watched enough to know, like, hey, this is what people like. This is what I like. And
Yeah.
that's what you did. And I do the same thing with the podcast. I've watched enough, listened to enough. Where I'm like, I don't want to do that because I didn't like it. So let me do this and see if people like that. So
Yeah.
absolutely. What else do you want to tell me about Try Nintendo and your channel?
I think the inception of it, because I, for the longest time, didn't think I wanted to do YouTube. Like, it genuinely, like, you'd see where I'm at and what I've done with it and think, like, oh, you've been wanting to do YouTube for a long time, and that's not true at all. I I thought it was going to be kind of a dumb job. Like, I don't know, it just felt so out of the realm of reach for me. Um, which I feel like, going back on how I'm kind of like a creative and I like to do stuff like that, like I'm surprised that I never connected those dots sooner. But I guess how it started was this last December. My daughter Brielle was just born. She was born November 14th, so she was like a month old going into Christmas break. And because of that, she was a month. We couldn't go anywhere, and so I just had a lot of time to just kind of sit and do nothing. No good games were coming out, so I was, I had nothing to do. And I remember just watching YouTube, and specifically like Nintendo YouTube, and just like thinking like, I can do this. Like I can do what these guys are doing. There are some things that I'm seeing that I feel like I could even do better. Um, and so I don't know if it was a divine thing. It genuinely could have been like from God to just like, in my mind, it was like from then on, I was like, okay, I'm making a YouTube channel. And I remember telling a bunch of people I was so excited about it. And this was before I had even started my brand and any of that stuff. And I was just telling people like, all right, I'm doing it. This is my New Year's resolution. I'm going to make a YouTube channel. Um, and then I decided on how I was going to do it. There's a big creator called Arlo. He's kind of a family friendly Nintendo YouTuber. And he's like a puppet. He's kind of like a Muppet, right? Where he's like a big blue monster. And I've been watching him for probably 10 years or so. And it's just kind of cool to see this different way of presenting takes on Nintendo from this little monster character. And so that's kind of where the triangle character I have kind of came from too. Was to have like an avatar for me to speak through and to be able to use animation and stuff to tell my story about different things I'm interested in. And so I don't know. I think having this graphic design background also kind of gives me an edge. Thumbnails are a big thing on the YouTube space. If you don't have a good thumbnail or like a good title, nobody's going to click on your video. So fortunately, I've been able to have decent enough design skills to get people to want to at least click. And I don't know. I guess that's kind of how Try started. Was I think part of it's divine. Like I genuinely, YouTube was not even a thing for me, 6 months ago. I didn't think it was going to be part of what I'm doing now, but I think the stars kind of aligned for this one, if I'm being honest.
What was the reaction of people when you first started telling people that you're going to do a YouTube channel?
I mean, surprisingly not negative. I think a lot of people, I mean, if you look up, I don't know what they're called, like influence, I don't know, but it's like, don't tell people your dream. You've probably heard that before. Like, don't tell people your dream, because a lot of them are going to kind of laugh in your face or shut you down and prevent you from pursuing that dream. So keep it to yourself, work on it, and don't really, until you've done something with it. But for me, I was kind of like, I'm going to do it anyway, so I don't care. I'm going to tell people so I can get people on board. So they're aware of when I'm actually posting or something like that. So the reaction wasn't too bad. Fortunately, I have really good friends and family who support me in something like that. I mean, you were a big reason, honestly, for why I even like took that jump. If you hadn't already been doing content creation, I feel like it would have been hard to be like, "Hey, Dad, I'm gonna do YouTube." Like I think 10 years ago, if I said that, you'd have been like, "That's stupid," or like I don't
Get a
know,
real
but
job.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, I think that's a real thing. But in today's day and age, with how popular the internet, how people consume media, TV is kind of, I feel like, what YouTube used to be, where it's like, you get your broadcasting job, you get your job in Hollywood, all that stuff. People are shifting to cheaper alternatives to media. Sometimes it's hard to pay for that YouTube TV, that direct TV bill. It's free to watch somebody on Twitch stream a video game, or free to watch someone on YouTube play a game, and also a way for somebody on YouTube to get paid to do that thing they love. So, I don't know. There's been a lot of different things that I feel like have led me to it and got me excited about it, and you're a big reason too.
I appreciate that. I remember you asking me about microphones when you were first
Yeah,
coming out. So I remember telling, "Oh, this is the microphone I got when I first started."
it's
Yeah,
right
there it
here.
is.
The Samsung
The
Q2U.
Samsung
Shout outs
Q2U.
to
Yeah,
my dad for that
there we go. I got
recommendation.
an Elgato now. That's what I use now. Um, no, that's good. That's a good solid microphone. So I remember hearing that. I remember when I first started telling people too about the podcast. I remember telling, your grandma about it, and she was kind of, oh, okay. Just, I don't think people took it serious until I actually
No,
released an episode. And then I was like,
right.
whoa, he is serious. Like, what's
And
going
then I
on
think
here?
it's too when you're consistent. Like,
Yeah.
it's for me, it wasn't just I did my one video and then it was like, well, that was YouTube. Like, I tried.
Yeah.
I've been posting every week since January, so it's something that, and I've missed, a week here and there, but I'll do something else, to maybe a stream or something. But I think it's that consistency that it's like, all right, like we're in it for the long run.
Yeah. All right. So I want a couple of personal questions to kind of wrap things up a little bit. I want to talk about something that you've learned from me, and I want to mention something I've learned from you. So I'm going to go first. Something I've learned, not just in the podcast space, but I do know that you are talented. Like I said, you set up my website look for me, my look for Journey with Jake, the whole bit you've done. But I think the thing that I love about you, Josh, and something that I've learned from you is just the importance of being friendly and having a happy countenance. You've always been like that since you were just a little guy. You've always just been happy to see people. You're friendly. You're just fun. You're fun to be around. You're a jokester too. We have a lot of fun. We have a lot of laughs together. And some of your, I mean, just the little things you do. I remember hearing you one time upstairs saying, "Hello, governor." You got that off of some, I don't know what show you watched, some Disney show or something. You were saying
Yeah.
that. You came down the stairs acting like Tiny Tim one time. I mean, there's so many memories of you and who you were. And with you being, a premature, it took you a little longer as far as the under two part. Took you a lot longer to crawl, to walk, all that sort of thing. But even as a baby, you still wanted to be part of the action and part of, you're just always like a life of the party and had a lot of fun. So I learned that from you, about being courteous, being nice, just being friendly. What's something that you've learned from me that's helped you on your journey?
I think it's something that I struggle with a lot, but it's being a hard worker. You probably don't like hearing that I struggle with that, but no, I feel like when there's times where I feel like I'm just gonna be lazy, or today, like I genuinely feel like you're so good at just hitting the pavement and just going for it and working really hard at whatever you do. Even if it's something you don't like to do, you'll still work hard at it. And I feel like that's really admirable. It's something that I wish I did better. It's something that I feel like not only you have, but mom has too. You're just both really really hard workers and really diligent, and I feel like that's like in our faith as well. That diligence, and something that I try to do for me and for my family.
Awesome. Love it. You're a good kid, Josh. Okay, some rapid fire questions, if you don't mind,
Yeah,
for you. All right. You said it already, but tell us again. Favorite Nintendo game?
it's Legend of Zelda: Twilight Princess.
Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. Favorite gaming, I don't know, is there a console? Is that the right word?
Yeah,
Console?
console.
Okay. Yeah, what is that?
It's probably Nintendo Switch, but the 3DS is a close second.
Okay, Nintendo Switch, 3DS right there. Okay. Favorite family trip?
It might be Florida. Maybe it's just
Okay.
because I haven't been to Disney World in so long, but there was so much new to it, that it was just really, it was cool. It was cool to go to, somewhere past Utah. I think was the furthest east we've gone before, or maybe Arizona,
Yeah.
probably eastern Arizona. But
Crossing the Mississippi, going east,
yeah,
going to the
it was
Atlantic Ocean.
it was cool.
Yeah. Favorite Disneyland ride?
It's so hard not to say Rise of the Resistance, but I'm gonna go Splash Mountain. Shoutouts to OG Splash Mountain.
OG Splash Mountain, the one with
OG,
the rabbit
for
and
sure.
the fox. And okay.
Yeah, I went on it 4 times right before it closed, so
All right, nice.
yeah.
That's probably my favorite too. I loved Splash Mountain. Although the last time I was there, I swear it was wetter than it's ever been. I don't know if that's just I'm getting older. I don't know what the deal is, but all right, cool. Very, very good. Favorite Disney ride, we said. What was my other one? Oh, just basic stuff. Favorite food.
Ramen. Like
Ramen.
real authentic ramen, not Maruchan, not Top Ramen, like an actual like ramen shop ramen.
Okay, ramen. Wow, interesting. What's your go-to at Taco Bell?
It changes depending on what they have on their menu, because it used to be a loaded potato griller, but that third item is always a specialty item, but it's always a bean burrito, no onions, extra red sauce, a crunchy taco, whatever third seasonal item's in. Right now it's nacho fries. So
But you're always doing the bean burrito, no onions, and
always
the crunchy
bean burrito,
taco.
no onions, extra red sauce, and a crunchy taco. Every
Wow.
time.
Okay. Very good.
Yep.
I love it. What other questions do I have for you? Favorite dessert?
Not a dessert guy like you are. You love dessert.
I do love dessert. What's my favorite dessert?
Is it brownies?
I mean, I like
I feel like
brownies.
it used to be brownies.
I love
Probably
brownies.
a chocolate chip cookie.
A chocolate chip cookie is my
Yeah.
absolute favorite.
Mm-hmm. I'll go shaved ice though.
Okay,
love
shaved
shaved
ice
ice.
is good.
It's my favorite.
All right. Dream destination or dream travel experience for you? Where would you want to go and why?
I want to go to Japan really bad. There's a lot of people in the last couple of years that I've known personally that have gone to Japan because it's just really cheap right now. And I'm unfortunately not able to do that. But Nintendo's there. There's a Nintendo museum there now where you can kind of look and see the history of Nintendo. I'm also a big anime guy, so there's a lot of stuff there for that. Ramen shops, it's my favorite food. I mean, there's just a lot. It's clean. I feel like I relate with the people a lot. I like to be very clean. Don't look at that. I'm moving. But I don't know. I feel like I relate with them a lot, but Japan would be so cool. Sakura trees. I'm also a big fan of that aesthetic. I don't know. There's a lot.
Wow. Japan. That's your spot. All right. Very good. All right. My final question for you. This is a question I ask everybody on my show. What does adventure mean to you?
I don't want to get philosophical because I'm not good at that, but let's go with something new. Adventure is something new. So
Something new. Okay.
yeah.
Which could be, going to Japan would definitely be an adventure.
Yeah.
You're kind of in that mode. You're moving. That's something
Yeah.
new.
That's something new. Could be trying something new. That's an adventure. Could
Yeah.
be,
I like that.
something new.
Very good. Josh, this has been fun. It's awesome to have my son on here. Like I love you. You're a great kid. I admire what you're doing. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of what you're doing with your YouTube channel. I think it's really cool.
Thanks.
And I hope you just keep it up. And thanks for coming on Journey with Jake.
Yeah, I'm glad I finally got in a reservation slot. I've been on the waiting list for 2+ years now. It's, no special treatment here. I'm glad I finally made it. Just kidding.
Bonus episode, buddy. Bonus episode.
Woo!
Josh, love you.
Love you too.
Thank you, Josh, for coming on the show. It was a lot of fun to have you on Journey with Jake and just a real treat for me personally. And to everyone listening, do me a favor and check out Josh's YouTube channel at Try Nintendo, and that's try spelled Tri. Even if you're not a huge Nintendo or gaming fan, stop by, watch a video, and say hi to Josh, or Try, as he's known online. We'll be back this Thursday with another great episode featuring Jeremy George, the founder of Bucket Match. We'll be talking all about bucket lists, including Jeremy's inspiring goal to complete one bucket list item every week for an entire year. You won't want to miss it. And just remember, it's not always about the destination, as it is about the journey. Take care, everybody.